r/adulting. Zelausidelius 881 says. Advice. Is sex once a week normal? Hi everyone, my boyfriend, 28, and I, 27, have sex at least once a week. Has been very argumentative about our sex life and how it's not enough for him. We've agreed on once a week because in the past it's the same argument of not enough sex for him. I have a low libido. I've changed my birth control to change things. And it did. Before I would go a while like 2 weeks without sex. In his head, it's like rare for us to have sex, which rare means once in a blue moon. And he asks for sex as well. It completely turns me off if I was already thinking of sex or while we're cuddling. I've expressed to him about sexual abuse in my childhood, and growing up I've used smoking weed as a way to bond in my past relationships, which also lead to sex. I felt like sex was the only bond I had with my exes. The only way I felt loved. Sex was always a necessity to feel seen. I felt like I was only enough for sex and nothing more. I do love sex. I get physically aroused, but mentally I'm just not into it as of recently. I don't want to force myself to have sex, because for so long I felt like I wasn't in control of my body and not being able to say no. My body felt like everyone else's for amusement and eye candy. I was always sexualized even as a kid, hitting puberty at a young age. Growing up I was very hypersexual. Exposed to sex porn very young. I'm not making excuses. But as I've grown up, the need for sex has become whenever I wanted it. In my current relationship, I have gained some weight. I don't feel like I look sexy in bed anymore. That's a personal issue, I know. Has never made me feel less beautiful either. I used to take the pill and now I'm on the IUD to change my libido, and it did. But when we're on vacation, we have sex every day. Maybe it's the change of environment, or maybe it's the liquor. But I'm way more in the mood when we're on vacation. Since him, it's different. I feel so loved by him. Has my only serious relationship. And for the first time in my life, has been showing me real, true love and affection in all other ways of our relationship, in a way I've never experienced before. I feel truly loved and cared for by him, so I don't need sex to feel that way anymore. I'm going to see a therapist to fix my issue. I don't want to lose him. I know everyone has different love languages and his physical touch. Our relationship is amazing besides this ongoing issue of my libido. Something that I need to work on. I just don't want sex to feel like a chore. I love that we have passion and so much love when we do. Climax at the same time. It's great. Our sex is great. I just hate that it's starting to feel like a chore when he asks or gets mad when I say no. He says that he doesn't feel loved by me when we don't have sex. Meanwhile I leave him love notes. I make or buy dinner for us. I decorated the house for his birthday and invited my family and friends to surprise him at home BC he was working late on his birthday. I wanted him to feel important even for a few hours left before the night ended. His response to that? He said anyone can decorate a house. That hurt me. I've never done that for anyone. I wanted to make him feel special. I would ask him what he wants for birthday, Christmas or any other holiday. He says sex. I'm just tired of feeling that's all I'm good for. When I want to do more, but again, that's his love language and I need to respect it. So any advice? This was my last resort. I feel so stuck. I hope my therapist helps me. But in the meantime, I just need outside advice, not from friends or family. So thank you in advance to anyone for the advice. It's appreciated. Have a Dragon Mermaid 4 says. If your sexual desire is that much different when you're on vacation, That's probably a good sign, because it means that there is something tangible you can change in your life to increase your libido. It could be stress, diet, sun exposure, anything. If you can narrow down the issue, then you may be able to get to a point where you're both happy with how much sex you're having. Otherwise, it can be a big issue, because sexual incompatibility is a major factor when it comes to relationships not working out, and the more important sex is to someone, the bigger of a factor it becomes, and it looks like it's very important to him. Bruton Gastus says, I'm the same way as Opus. When we go on vacation / stay somewhere else, I'm constantly in the mood. I don't drink, so it's not the alcohol. For me, I 100% believe it's due to the change in atmosphere. I have a really stressful job, so when I'm not at work I'm at home 99.9% of the time. We also have different work schedules, so we hardly go on dates and just sit at home and watch TV together. Incredibly boring, I know. So I know my lack of libido at home has a lot to do with the monotony / stress / etc of being at the house. Could be the same type of scenario with Opus. Or that mixed with the alcohol as well. Apparent Lycaron says, I love sitting around watching TV with my partner. I love bonding over a trashy reality TV show and pass judgment on cast together. Dracraniac 2023 says, there is no normal. It's subjective because everyone has different libidos or varying ideas of a healthy sex life. I would lean into therapy for yourself, maybe even couples, if he's willing. But libido differences can really be the end of a relationship if a middle ground can't be found. You shouldn't be pressured or coerced into sex. He shouldn't be getting angry with you for declining or making passive-aggressive remarks. He's got a few red flags here from what I see, so maybe it is a partner problem. He may be great everywhere else, but doesn't excuse him being an R about sex. Peachcraft4 says, seconding this, also recommending you to join r/birth control. A lot of BC methods can frick with your libido. I'm also a victim of this, and your gynus won't tell you about it or help you fix it. There are so many women who experience this, and I've found this thread to be very helpful. DNM8686 says, I've been in that position in the past, so now before I start dating someone I'll let them know that I have a low libido, and if that's a problem, we aren't going to date. I'm not going to be guilted into sex anymore. Nobody is happy in those situations. Giancolor1 says, yup, this is how it should be handled. It's unfair for him, or anyone, to pressure you into sex. It's unfair for him to not have a satisfying sex life. If neither of your outlooks on sex change, one or both of you will become resentful. Alkpt says, if you don't want to have sex on a regular basis, don't continue your relationship with a man who wants sex on a regular basis. Blue J 498 says, once a week is a regular basis. Edit IDC about the downvotes. I get Reddit is a male echo chamber. Once a week is a regular basis. She is not an incubator for his needs. He has a hand, toys, and options to maintain himself as well. He also should not continue a relationship with somebody who does not want what he is looking for. Glamj says, it's different for everyone. Welkover says, the way you feel on vacation is the way he feels all the time. Except for him, when you two are not on vacation, for some reason he can't understand, you turn off the tap. Sex once a week is normal in a lot of relationships, especially where people have been together already for 5 or 6 years and both are busy with work or there are kids interfering with intimacy. I think most couples in their 20s without additional burdens have sex more than that. It does vary. r/adulting. Corvetta Mike 1978 says, D hates summer? I hear so many people talking about how much they love summer, but I absolutely hate it. Every day listening to the weather reporter using words like scorcher, sweltering, and muggy. I'm constantly tired and dealing with migraines and nausea from heat exhaustion despite drinking electrolytes all day. There's bugs and wasps everywhere, everyone seems moody, my whole family is sweating and chaffed, and just literally nobody wants to do anything but hide inside all day. It might sound weird, but I'd rather have 30 temps and bad weather than sunny and clear plus 100 temps any day. Does anyone else hate this season and tick off the days until it's finally over with? Lasarax says, I agree. Summer is my least favorite season. High today in my area is 97 degrees. No thanks. I'll take winter over summer 10/10 times. Goosapills says, I live outside DC, it is awful here in summer. C Writer 5659 says, I despise summer for all the reasons you mentioned and more. I truly don't understand why people like this time of year. Unless I'm actually swimming, I can't take these hot temperatures. Justine88 says, I hate summer. It's 95 to 105 here from end of May to end of September, and the feels like temperature is always 5 to 10 degrees hotter because of the humidity. I'm stuck inside all day, which worsens my depression. The bugs are worse, the people on the roads seem to drive crazier, and I can't even take my dogs for a walk outside. It's miserable. I would much rather it be freezing cold. I try to think of summer as my winter, where I have to stay indoors because of brutal temps. Don't know how people are outside right now. Even breathing this hot air is too much. Turbulent Leg 3678 says, same here. While everyone is out there basking in the heat and humidity, I feel like a prisoner stuck inside. Seriously, what is so amazing about constant sweating? Partly cloudy with a high of 75 and nighttime temps in the low 50s is my ideal. Liagra 44 says, where I live now, yes, SC. I cannot stand the humid heat and am inside 95% of the time. However, I used to live in the complete opposite environment, MN, where winters were brutal and lasted 6+ months. I would take the summers here any day over those winters though. Sad as no joke, 4-season areas are the absolute best though. Paparandink 13 says, it's only tolerable with a pool. Bring on fall and spring. Goosenuggy says, I absolutely hate summertime. In California we have 6 months of warm hot temps. I have PTSD from past summers with wildfires, smoke covering the sky for days, heat waves so bad I feared we would lose electricity, having heat exhaustion from working, etc. I live in an apartment without central air and my job also lacks central air. I work outside as part of my job and we have to go outside even up to 98 degrees. My dog needs to get walked as well. Summer heat is exhausting, makes me unable to think clearly or function at my best. I prefer cold wet weather any day. Chadabraxus says, I hate it. Verlted says, I'm more of an autumn person myself. 60s 70s, wearing shorts and hoodie are acceptable. Spooky season, the leaves change beautiful colors, and Turkey Day and Christmas are right around the corner. I like summer weather for just a few weeks, just enough to go to the beach and that is about it. Hatigue Plant says, you're not alone. I hate summer so much. Can't wait for the next 3 months to be over with. Little Foundation 64 says, I hate summer too. Interested Anto says, find places to swim. That changed everything for me. Albina Mirabilis says, me too, I hate when it's more than plus 25 Celsius and humidity is high, counting days to the autumn. Blusteal Camaro 23 says, summer is, Ed, I grew up in MN. After 6 mo of nearly no sunlight, shoveling, sliding accidents, below zero. Summers were a blessing. Like 70 to 80 degrees tops. Frickin' TX had the most consecutive plus 100-degree days of anywhere in history. I want to die. I've never been able to properly explain myself in this climate. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.